Hey, ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's always Friday in Student Loan Justice Land. No, it's not. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's doing well here today, wherever you may be. It is Wednesday, May 17th. We are studentloanjustice.org. We are the oldest, largest, and in many ways only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. Pardon our austere digs here today. We're doing a little spring redecorating. If you're new to the group, welcome. And if you have any questions or comments, and I can see them either on Facebook or on Twitter, throw them out and we can roll them around. A couple of announcements, important announcements tonight, actually. If you could, would you please donate something to help out Jackie in Texas? So Jackie is our state chapter leader for Texas. Jackie Abron, she's a single mother, really good person. She is a distressed student loan borrower, just like you or I. She faces all sorts of struggles of her own down there in Texas, yet still she finds the time, energy, and courage to be a freaking force of nature for student loan justice. I kid you not, guys. She's gotten letters to the editor published in something like, I want to say 17, even maybe, I think. 17 newspapers local to Texas. I think a couple national ones also. She has single-handedly arranged, I don't know, it seems like 4 or 5 at this point, but more to come, meetings with various key legislators in Texas. She runs our state chapter in Texas, by the way, if I didn't mention that. I think I did. Anyways, we like to support the people who are busting their ass for student loan justice. And, you know, Jackie's going to be coming up on some pretty significant travel and other expenses to do with all the stuff that we're doing in Texas right now. Would you please just kick in and help her out? I mean, that's how this group works, guys. We're not a nonprofit with funding from billionaire philanthropists or whatever. We're not that, guys. We're only a group of normal people. Like, we do fundraisers from time to time for our artists, for example. It really freaking helps, ladies and gentlemen. We can do this. We can fight this battle on very little actual money. But we can't do it on nothing. And so if you appreciate all that we've gotten done, all that we are doing, all that Jackie has got, she has single-handedly moved the needle squarely and measurably in our favor in this very important state of Texas. Like 15 letters to the editor from Dallas to Waco to Waxahachie to a bunch of other little cities that I can't pronounce the names of in Texas. I think, did I say Waco? Yeah, Waco for sure. Anyways, help her out, guys. We can't do this without you. You know, we can easily win this battle when everybody pitches in. And I don't mean just money. I mean, I think Jackie would agree with me. She would far rather that you help her with your actions than with actual funding. Yeah, just help her out, dudes. What's the deal here? You know, this should not be hard. Quite frankly, in my humble opinion, all of our state chapters should be getting all the money they could ever possibly spend to do what they need to do to get this thing done. I mean, it just astounds me that with 1.4 million members, we have to scratch and claw and bite. And that includes for me as well, by the way. But anyways, that's another issue. We've managed to survive, fight, and win this battle with very little funding, guys, but just make it easier on us, would you please? So yeah, there's that. And she didn't ask me to even do that, by the way. I just know that she needs it, she deserves it, and she's definitely earned it. And so yeah. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk briefly. We published another article today. I wouldn't necessarily call this breaking news. I mean, it's stuff that we've known forever. But and I haven't even posted it on our website yet. I've only just very recently posted it on anything. And you can see it at our Medium channel at the very top. So if you go to studentloanjustice.medium, .com. You can find it. And the title of the article, and this is very, very important for everybody to know because nobody knows. The title of the article is, as soon as I can find it, all of the Department of Education's income repayment programs are massive failures. And the subtitle is both current and proposed IDR programs are not to be trusted. And so I want to give you just the gist of that article if I could. And let me just share my screen so I can hopefully inspire you to go find this story and spread it very widely. Almost nobody who are trying for one of the income-driven repayment plans or another, almost nobody knows how absolutely horribly performing they are. Like the oldest income-driven repayment program, IDR, called Income Contingent Repayment, ICR, as of 2021, and it's been around since 1995, so we're talking almost 30 years now. As the last time I checked, which was a few years ago, but the last time I checked, 32 people out of probably well over 1 million people who have tried out for it, only 32 people have gotten their loans approved for cancellation through income contingent repayment. Similarly, as of 2014, in fact, in 2014, 57% of everyone in all of the IDRs. So and this is an alphabet soup of just nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. There's the ICR, income contingent. There's the income-based repayment, IBR. There's the pay-as-you-earn, pay, P-A-Y-E. There's the revised pay-as-you-earn, which is repay. Cute acronyms there. And we could also maybe talk about the public service loan forgiveness, PSLF. That's slightly different, but it's kind of the same. You can throw it in there into the alphabet soup. And there's another yet another income-driven repayment program, which is hilariously a revised version of the revised pay-as-you-earn plan. So what do you call that? Repay? It's fucking silly. It's getting stupid at this point. But in 2014, 57% of everyone in any one of those plans, not counting the Biden thing, the upcoming soon-to-be-seen Biden thing, 57% of all borrowers were kicked out of those programs. They were disqualified out of all those programs in just 1 year alone, and for one reason alone. So more people than that got disqualified that year, but only for failing to verify their income. So this is an annual onerous process that everybody in an IDR has to go through. Verify your income. It's and every year about 30% of people who try to get through are in a typical year. So 2014 was a bad year for whatever reason, but in a typical year, around 30% of the people fail to adequately verify their income. And so ladies and gentlemen, if that's true, say you're in a 20-year plan, which I think by and large most IDRs are, between 15 and 25, statistically, mathematically, the odds of you successfully verifying your income for 20 years straight and thus clearing that one hurdle to make it through loan cancellation, well, it's 7 out of 10. Yes, it's 7 out of 10 all to the power of 20, just the way the math works. And you can, so I'm just trying to be slick for you on my feet. And if you do that math, it turns out to be vanishingly unlikely. In other words, statistically, the odds of you making it through 20 years of income verification alone vanishes to less than 1%. So statistically speaking, anyhow, the odds of, if 100 people try for income-based repayment on the 20-year plan, statistically, the odds are that maybe one of those people will actually make it through those 20 years of income verification. Now, life is not math. I understand that. It probably would be a few more than that, but we're still only talking about 3 or 4 people in all likelihood, guys. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing that I hope you come away with tonight, first of all, I hope you'll read this article, and you can see the link where my cursor is now. But the Department of Education has no desire or intentions of canceling any loans. They never have, and they never will. Not through the income contingent repayment that they rolled out in 1995, not in the income-based repayment that they rolled out in 2007, and not through the pay or the repay that they rolled out in subsequent years, and not through whatever this nonsense that they're going to throw onto the pile is here coming up under Biden. These income-driven repayment programs are all, including public service, by the way, they're all essentially anchors disguised as life vests. Like, throw him to a drowning man. See how that works. He'll grab it. I guarantee you he'll grab it, but he'll wish that he hadn't. And so this nonsense that we see from the Department of Education is yet another cheap ploy to keep this unconstitutional loan scam rolling down the tracks for just a few more years and keep the borrowers occupied. Speaking of Occupy Wall Street, the Department of Education is occupying our lives. And this nonsense, all of these nonsense income-driven repayment programs are just a fucking ruse, are just a cheap prop to keep us occupied while they steal our unearned wealth. Make no mistake. And I can only hope that people out there are getting a little smarter than that. The Department of Education has no desires, or let me just read a quick passage. The Department of Education has no desires or intentions of canceling any loans. Vast majority of borrowers are being expelled from the programs and will not be getting the loan cancellation promised. And in fact, the cruel irony here is that the people who don't make it through these things, they wind up owing far, far, far more than had they never tried in the first place. So on balance, not only is the government not canceling many or sometimes even any of these loans for some of these programs yet, they're not losing money on these cancellation plans. These cancellation plans are running the worst of bad faith. And the cruel irony, which is the song I was trying to play earlier at the top, is that they're probably making money because of their bad administration of these designed to fail income-driven repayment plans. You know, I could do a 10-hour marathon show talking only about all the ironies associated with student loans, but that's one of the bigger ones. That's a top 5 for sure. So, and just one little quick graph. I don't think I've talked about this yet on a live stream, but I like to update the big picture from time to time. And again, this is something you may not know, you need to know. So we're being hit in the media right now by all manner of propaganda media, and they're trying to say, oh, look at all the loans that Biden canceled. Well, here's the big picture, ladies and gentlemen. In 2.5 years of Biden being in office, he's canceled, they claim, around $66 billion in student loan debt, which I take them at their word. That's fine. Well, during a typical 2.5 year period, the federal lending program grows by $250 billion in interest alone. So that doesn't even count the new loans that they do to the new victims, the younger crowd just going to college for the first time. Doesn't even count that. Interest only. $250 billion is added to the federal student loan portfolio in interest alone in 2.5 years. So this is not forward progress, ladies and gentlemen. This is a Michael Jackson moonwalk. Don't believe the propaganda. And there's 98% of the media out there on student loans right now is literally pure and blatant propaganda. But that's another topic for another night. In fact, that's a topic for last night. So if you watch last night's live stream, you can see me drill down on that whole question, which is a very important question in itself. Don't believe what you see in the media, ladies and gentlemen. The media used to be kind of good on this issue 15, 18 years ago when we first started. The media has been captured. And that's true. Hey, I see we have a couple comments here tonight. I'm going to try and get through them quickly. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Hey, Ann Cooper's with us tonight. Hey, Ann. Hey, Aaron Root's with us tonight. Hey, Aaron. Aaron's in Texas, I believe. Ann Cooper says all of these loans and plans will go down with the rest of the banks. It's just a matter of time. The debt-based economy is on its last legs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you, Ann. I try and stay in the student loan justice arena. I try not to get too profound and try to draw, try to extrapolate things. But I'm not going to speak for any other loan system in this country, as terrible as they may be. But even compared, well, I will talk about one other. I'll talk about subprimes, for example, subprime home loans. Even compared to subprime home mortgages, the federal student loan program is 10 times more failed than the subprime home mortgages. You know, subprime home mortgages had bankruptcy rights, by the way. That's a huge difference there. Student loans do not. But, you know, the default rate for subprime home mortgages was around 20% or so. Like closer to, I think it was actually like 18%. Well, the default rate for federal student loans for people who left college in 2004, like 18 years ago, 19 years ago, is 40%. So, and people that left college in 2004, they were borrowing a small fraction, like less than a third of what's being borrowed by more recent students. So if the default rate for 2004 kids is 40%, what do you think the default rate is for everybody walking around today with student loans since 2004? Yeah, it's way higher than 40%. My best guess is that something, even before COVID, probably 75% of everyone with student loans was headed for default eventually. And that was before COVID, guys. It's gotten far worse since then. So, hey, here's my book, by the way. This is the first book ever. I never plug my book. This is the first book ever written that was critical of the student loan system. First book ever. That's true. This group is historically way more important and relevant than you might think. Ann Cooper says, Alan Collins, your knowledge of the data is incredible. Well, thank you, Ann. It's not something I'm proud of, quite frankly. There was quite an opportunity cost associated with absorbing all that knowledge. But I'm glad that I can help. I'm glad that I've stayed in this fight because we have institutional memory. We've seen all the dirty tricks that the student loan swamp plays. Me and Ed and the other old timers on this group, we've seen all the tricks and the traps, and we won't be fooled. We won't. We've seen any number of these new Johnny-come-lately groups come around, and they're literally plants from the student loan industry, and they're just trying to make a buck. They're trying to prey on people, and they roll out all the same old, tired, tricky bankers language, and we can see them from a mile away. And so, yeah, it's good that I've been doing this for so long, and it's good that I'm still doing it because otherwise all that memory and wisdom would be lost to the general public. Aaron Root in Texas says, I'd done both of those repayment programs in the past, and the loan balance ballooned out like crazy. Yes. And the paperwork was a nightmare. Exactly, Aaron. That's what they count on. They count on the overwhelming majority of people getting baffled and bamboozled to where they throw up their hands and they walk away. And then instead of owing, $50,000, all of a sudden they owe $120,000 and they fall into default. And pretty soon that $50,000 loan, or what did I say, $30,000 is, $200,000 with penalties and fees. And those are real numbers, guys. I can show you people who borrowed $25,000, who've repaid $100,000, and who still owe $130,000. Like, I can show you real live people with numbers just like that. So, okay, guys, this was a late live stream to begin with. I'm sorry to be lagging. I'm sorry I was a little sporadic tonight, but let me just make the first point that I made, the first announcement that I made tonight. Let me repeat again. Would you please just donate something to Jackie Abron in Texas? Like, you know, Jackie's a struggling borrower just like you. Jackie, I can tell, has made student loan justice probably maybe like a half-time job, like 5 hours a day or something like that. Maybe even more. I don't know. I mean, she's a force of nature and she deserves our support. And, you know, this group, we would not have good bankruptcy legislation to fight for, but for this group. That's the most important battle in the entire war for student loan justice. We would not have a student loan cancellation by executive order. But for the people on this group, that whole concept got launched and propelled and made into a thing by this group right here. People like Jackie and Lisa and Aaron and Ann and many of our other diehards, thousands of our other diehards. I don't think it's too much to ask that we throw a couple of bucks her way in just a personal gift to at least show our appreciation and help defray at least some of her costs, like gas money, if nothing else, guys. You know, to me, anyways, I don't like talking about money. It makes me angry. But come on, dudes. This is a community, and these are your loans, and this is your battle. And Jackie is fighting your battle for you in a very important state, which Texas is. And she's actually moving the needle in our favor. When you get 15 op-eds all basically saying this, or letters to the editor, all calling for essentially the same thing, the right thing for student loans across the state of Texas, that makes people's eyebrows go up and say, something's going on here. That helps. When you get into meetings with very important, I'm going to leave it at that, senators like Ted Cruz, love him or hate him, John Cornyn, important congressmen, I'm not going to name any names, in Texas, you know, this is the lion's den, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where the battle is won. And I appreciate all the work that Jackie's done, and I could say the same for many of our other members as well, guys. But if you want to be a part of this community, just help us. And I think Jackie would agree. Jackie would much rather that you show your appreciation by, for example, doing our daily actions, which you can see right down there. Your efforts are way more important than any money you could donate. But come on, guys, we can't do this on nothing. We cannot. At least I cannot. And Jackie, as I said, she's a single mom. She's got her own life struggles to deal with. And yet she finds a way. And she's trying to run the state of Texas state chapter too, which is one of our largest states. So come on, dudes, just do that. It's not that big of a deal. And quite frankly, I really shouldn't even have to ask. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave it there at that. I've gone on way longer than I was thinking tonight. I apologize for that in advance. But hang in there. I'll be back tomorrow at a more reasonable time. Do our daily actions, and donate to Jackie. And good luck and God bless and Godspeed, everyone doing our daily actions. And I'll see you tomorrow around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Good luck, God bless, and Godspeed.